Hello everybody and welcome back to Team Vikavolt's YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about Cynthia's Garchomp EX, the best, bulkiest, fastest deck that you're probably not playing to your local cups and leagues and challenges and things of that nature. Pokemon TCG stuff. Like the thumbnail suggests, we're going to have a lot of bulk and a lot of power in this deck. We're going to walk through some of the key cards and then stroll right on through the list that I have to provide for you. But before we get into all that, please check the links in the description below to make sure that you are seeing the original posts of these lists. The one that I'm featuring is the one that I have personally played against in real life, but there are other ways to build this deck that are featured in the original post by none other than the Twitter user or X user at Pokeka_book, which is a great resource for Japanese deck lists that have, been tried and true and tested. So let's get into this list. We're going to start with some main guys: Cynthia's Gible, Gabite, and Garchomp EX. The Gible has 70 HP, so you can get Buddy Poffin. You get it with Buddy Poffin, and there's not too much else to say besides that. Cynthia's Gabite, similar to Ethan's Quilava, which we covered in the last video, has a consistency ability on a stage 1, which is always a welcome thing in the Pokemon TCG. Champion's Call lets you search your deck for a Cynthia's Pokemon and then put it into your hand, so it doesn't have to go directly to the bench, just put it in your hand. So of course you can use Gabite's ability to look for Cynthia's Garchomp EX, which, even though it's a stage 2, gets into play pretty quickly, has 330 HP. It's a fighting type, which is a very underplayed typing in the tournament setting world shenanigans of stuff, and whatever that means, sorry guys. And then you have two really low cost attacks. Corkscrew Dive does 100 damage, and you get to draw until you have 6 cards in your hand for just one single fighting energy. And then for 2 fighting energies, you're doing 260 damage, but you have to discard all the energy from this Pokemon. You might notice that Cynthia's Garchomp EX does have free retreat, which is awesome, but it is double weak to grass, which means you're going to have a hard time against Raging Bolt and especially Teal Mask Ogerpon EX and anybody running something like a Toad Scroll EX kind of a deck. You got to watch out for those pesky grass types, which seem to pop up here and there from what I have seen. So that's Cynthia's Garchomp EX, but it does come with a bit of help. Cynthia's Spiritomb is also searchable with Buddy Poffin, among other methods, and because it has 70 HP. It is of course a basic, and for 1 colorless energy, Raging Curse does 10 damage for each damage counter on all of your benched Cynthia's Pokemon, but don't get too excited because it does not hit for weakness, so you're not going to be easily knocking out Gardevoir EXs or Jellicent EXs with Cynthia's Spiritomb, unfortunately. And then Cynthia's Roserade is really where it's at. The ability Cheer On to Glory lets your Cynthia's Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that effect does actually stack. So if you have multiple Roserade in play, you could be doing up to plus 60, plus 120 if you have 4, if you're crazy, damage. Yeah, so Cheer On to Glory does, of course, also extend to Cynthia's Spiritomb, which effectively turns Raging Curse into a 30 damage plus 10 times the amount of damage counters on all of your benched Cynthia's Pokemon, which is some pretty good damage, especially from a basic for 1 energy. And we do also have, of course, some key trainers in this list. Cynthia's Power Weight is a Pokemon tool. It gives your Cynthia's Pokemon plus 70 HP, so you can consider the Cynthia's Garchomp EX to be 400 HP, which is just a monster. And then you are also running, at least in the list that I'm about to feature, Team Rocket's Petrel. It lets you search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Just a bit of consistency there from that supporter card. You are also running Kieran in this list, which is another supporter card that has been out since Twilight Masquerade. It has 2 effects, but you get to only choose 1 when you play this supporter. You can either switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, or you can do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. So if you have 2 Roserades on the bench and you're doing 260 damage with Cynthia's Garchomp EX, and then you add a Kieran onto that, you're hitting some really solid numbers, some really huge numbers, really quickly. Again, huge shout out to @Pokeka_book for posting these lists. This is, again, the one that I have personally played against in real life. We've already gone over Cynthia's Garchomp EX. We've already gone over the Roserade and the Spiritomb, but you are also running 1 copy of Badoo to slow things down if you really have to, and 2 copies of Monkey Dory to be able to move around damage counters and take some more strategic knockouts. You have Buddy Buddy Poffin, you have 1 copy of Ultra Ball, 1 copy of Earthen Vessel, which is this one right here, if you can look at my mouse. The A-spec of choice in this particular list is Secret Box. You discard 3 cards from your hand, and you get to search your deck for an item, a tool, a stadium, and a supporter. So in this deck that already fishes out things pretty quickly, you have an A-spec that fishes out even more resources very, very quickly. So very explosive starts with Cynthia's Garchomp EX. You have mostly an Arven Iono engine, which is pretty commonplace. 4 copies of Arven, search for a tool and an item card, and then Iono, shuffle your hand and slap it at the bottom of your deck, and then you draw as many cards as prize cards that you have remaining. You are also running 2 copies of Crispin for some additional energy acceleration. Crispin allows you, if you're not familiar, to look for 2 different types of basic energy from your deck, attach one of them to one of your Pokemon, and then the other one goes to your hand. 4 copies of Boss's Orders for max aggression, targeting down those threats that you just don't want to see come to fruition. And you are also running some Disruption by way of Team Rocket's Watchtower. Really great for turning off things like Squawkabilly EX, turning off Noctowls, turning off Blood Moon Ursaluna EX in the late game. Really strong stadium in certain matchups. And you are also running 1 copy of Artisan just to have some extra ways to fish out some basic Pokemon from your deck and put them onto your bench. 7 copies of basic Fighting Energy and 3 copies of basic Dark Energy. That's pretty much the list. It's up on the screen. Again, check those links in the description below for more lists that were included in the original post. Huge shout out and thank you to @Pokeka_book yet again. And thank you all for watching. I appreciate your time, appreciate your viewership, and let me know down in the comments below what other decks you would like to see covered. Be sure to check out that Ethan's Quilava Typhlosion deck that I posted the other day if you're interested in that. And I hope to be able to share some more really good, really awesome lists with all of you here on the channel. So that's it for today, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.